Shalom. First off, I'd like to give all the praise and all the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rikah, Radash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect around the four corners of the earth that are making their calling and election sure. This your brother Yonder Car coming back at you again in the spirit with another lesson. Going into this is just a pit stop. All right, we are pilgrims, and this is just a pit stop in our journey to the kingdom, to the Holy Land. All right, when you're a pilgrim, you're not set on one place. Okay, you're not looking to the place that you're at and saying that this is your dwelling place forever. No, you're just passing through. So we're just passing through. We're living out our punishment here on the earth. This is our punishment from going contrary to the scriptures, going contrary to the oath that we made with Yahweh Shema Shah, that we will have no other God before us, that we would follow after all the laws, statutes, and commandments. And we went off. We disobeyed Yahweh Shema Shah. So we in captivity right now. That's why our name have been taken away from us. We don't know that we're Hebrew Israelites. We don't know the Heavenly Father name is Yahweh and the only begotten Son name is Yahweh Shah. We don't know those things because they were taken away from us for our disobedience. Now, in the latter times, we're coming back and we're learning these things. We're learning that we're Hebrew Israelites. We're learning that the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh and His only begotten Son name is Yahweh Shah. Brothers are coming back together. The tribes, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Native Americans, so-called Latinos, they are coming together and they're starting to know that, hey, we are the sons of the true and living power, that we make up the 12 tribes of Israel. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see brothers coming back together. You talking to a Native American and you understanding like, this is my brother. You talking to one of the so-called Latin tribes and you talking to him and you understanding because you resonating with him because you are brothers. Knowing that, hey, we're about to be in the promised land. We are about to have our land back again. We about to be back in Jerusalem. Okay? And all the brothers are going to be there. All the brothers are going to be in the courtyard. All the brothers are going to be in their palaces with crowns on their head, knowing that we finally made it to our destination. Because this is not the destination right here. America is not the promised land. No, this is a work camp. This is a plantation. Okay? This is your punishment right here. Just like if you're in jail, that's not your destination. That's just a pit stop. Okay? To you going to your home. And we're trying to get out of this captivity so we can get to our home. But we got to get through the prophecies. Okay? And there's a lot of prophecies still left to be fulfilled. We still have to go through the hour of temptation. We still have to go through Jacob's trouble, the famine, the second death, the third world's war. We got to go through all those things to get to the kingdom. That's why the scriptures say, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of heaven. All right, we're gonna go through a lot of tribulation, and that's that pilgrimage. Okay, we're on a pilgrimage right now, trying to get to that kingdom, trying to get delivered by Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. Psalms 119 and 54. Thy statutes have been my song in the house of my pilgrimage. You see? So this is King David in his song saying that the statutes have been his song in the house of his pilgrimage. So we are on a pilgrimage. When you go into that word pilgrimage, matter of fact, I'm going to get it in the blue letter. Pilgrimage. All right. Journeying place dwelling place, sojourning, dwelling place, sojourning, lifetime. And when you get that word sojourning, all right, it means stay somewhere temporarily. You see, so we are staying here temporarily because we about to get the kingdom. We're about to get the hell up out of here. So we're not worried about this current stopping place that we're at, this current pit stop, because we know that we about to get the kingdom. We're about to live in rulership, be on top, not being the bottom anymore, not being the tail anymore. We're going to be the head because we are joint heirs with Yahushua. And Yahushua have received everything. So if he received everything, we are going to receive that right along with him. That's what we're waiting on. You know, even when you go into the accounts with Jacob, Jacob said he was a pilgrim. Matter of fact, let's get that. Genesis 47:9. And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not obtained until the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. So Jacob, Yaquab, okay, because the name of Jacob's name in Hebrew is Yaquab, means to supplant. And he was saying, okay, to the Pharaoh that he was on a pilgrimage because he was still working to obtain the kingdom, to obtain that rest. Okay? Where your bodies don't die, they don't decay, they don't grow old. Where you're not worried about sicknesses and you're not worried about plagues, pestilences. You're not worried about any enemies coming up against you. Seeing all the brothers, all right, the 12 tribes living in righteousness, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments because they are written in their inward parts. Okay? And we're going to have that heart of flesh. He's going to take away that stony heart and we're going to have a heart of flesh. That's what Jacob is talking about. He's talking about he's just on a pilgrimage, okay? He's just traveling through the land right now to get to that destination, and that destination is the kingdom. Okay? Hebrews 11:13. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. And that's what our elders and our apostles and the Akim of Great Millstone, we constantly tell you, this is not the stopping point. All right, this is just a pit stop. We're just passing through. We're on our way to the kingdom. We're on our way to having that forever salvation. Never ever having to go into another captivity again. And all the prophets before us, they knew these things. They knew that we had to go on a pilgrimage. We were going to be scattered all throughout the earth. And at the end times, we'll come back together and we're going to be delivered and we're going to be placed back into our dwelling place, which is the kingdom of heaven, which is Zion, which is Jerusalem. We're going to be back in our land again. We're going to be back with Yahushua. Okay? But right now, we going through this pilgrimage. We seeing the evil. We seeing what it's like for the earth to be ruled in wickedness. We're seeing what it's like when you got a wicked king ruling over the people. That's not going by the law, statutes, and commandments. That's not going by the holy scriptures. That's not putting Yahweh Shemawashah first. We see what it's like. And we are disgusted. We crying unto Yahweh Shemawashah to get that salvation, to get the hell up out of this current captivity. Brothers are beat down. Brothers are wore out. Brothers are dealing with ailments, sicknesses. So we have to get out of this current captivity. But we have to go through this pilgrimage right now. We have to go through this journey to get to the kingdom of heaven. All right. 1 Peter 2:11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul. And that's what we have done. Coming back into this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, we obtaining from those fleshly lusts. All right? We're not lusting after the shrimp, crab, the pork, and the lobsters. We're not lusting after another man's wife. We're not lusting after these different idols that our people are captivated by. That's got a stronghold on our people. Okay? Jesus Christ. That's a stronghold to our people that they can't let go. Guadalupe, Santa Maria, Jesus Christos. It got a stronghold on our people. Allah. It have a stronghold on our people. The Buddha, Shiva. These different deities, these different idols are bringing our people closer and closer to being destroyed. Because you have to come back to Yahweh Shem Shah. You have to come back to the Heavenly Father. We're holding fast to that name because this is the name that's going to help us through our pilgrimage. This is the name that's going to help us through this journey. Deuteronomy 28:9. Yahweh shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy power and walk in his ways. You see, so we're trying to walk in the ways of Yahweh Shem Shah by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. He said, if you love me, then you will keep my commandments. So that love is an action word. All right? I show you my faith through my works. What are your works? Going out to the highways, the byways, and the hedges, doing your videos, staying away from the pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, praying in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. Okay? Keeping the Sabbath, keeping the high holy days. These are the things that you're showing Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua that you love him. Okay? Having no other God before him. We're not believing in Jesus Christ. We're believing in Yahushua. We're not listening to these people talking about Jehovah, Yahuwah, okay, Yeshua. No, we're believing in Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah. Those are the names that you should be saved by. There's no other name under heaven that thou shalt be saved by. Okay? So we believe in these things through our pilgrimage, okay? To get that salvation, to get the hell up out of this current captivity. Deuteronomy 28:10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee. And that's what this thing is coming to. They're going to see that we're called by the name of Yahweh. When you see brothers doing these great and magnificent works, all right, these miracles, the healing, the spiritual powers, when they see these things, they're going to be afraid because they're going to know that there's a power in heaven that's dealing with these men, that there's a power in heaven that's looking down and showing you that he's up there. These people are going to be afraid because these elites, they know Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. They know that he's up there. They know that he's the one orchestrating everything here in this earth. It's just these 2/3 and the wicked and these heathens, they don't understand because they are not spiritually inclined. But the election have attained it and the rest was blinded. All right? That's why we always go into that Romans 11:6. The election have attained it and the rest was blinded. The rest of who? 2/3 of our people, the heathens and Esau, Edom. Okay? And we're not talking about these Joe Smo Edomites. No, we're talking about the elites, the bankers, the ones that really run this country, the ones that really run the world. They know who we are. They know that we make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You so-called blacks, you so-called Native Americans, so-called Latinos. They know the truth. Why do you think they come down on you so hard? They building walls to keep you out. They sending ICE agents in your homes. They taking away your EBT and your SNAP benefits, your Section 8, bringing that squeeze because they know that you make up the 12 tribes of Israel. So pressure from above, pressure from below, and you get squeezed in the middle. So we're putting our trust in Yahweh Hashem Shah. We having our faith in the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, because that's the only way we're going to make it through this pilgrimage. All right. Salakia. Deuteronomy 28:10, and all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee. And Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods, and in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which Yahweh swear unto thy fathers to give thee. That is the destination. That is the stopping point of this journey. Okay, the stopping point of that pilgrimage. Okay? Getting to be in that land flowing with milk and honey. And when you go into that milk and honey, it's just resources. Okay? Minerals. Gold, silver. All right? Deuteronomy 28:11. Salakia 28:12. Yahweh shall open unto thee his good treasures, the heaven to give the rain unto thy land in his seasons, and to bless all the works of thy hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh thy power, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. And that's what our people have been doing in this pilgrimage. They've been serving other gods. They haven't been serving Yahweh Hashem Shah. So the only way you can get to the destination, which is the kingdom, is through Yahweh Shah. And that's what we're doing. So with that, I'm going to end off by giving all the praise and all the glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakodash.